Venkatesh sir, please begin.
Yes, sir. Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, one and all present here. Dr. Venkatesh Aravind, Assistant Professor, Department of Journalism Mass Communication, Faculty of Arts, Parallel University, invites you for this, workshop on fake news and misinformation. The resource person that we have today is Dr. Shaurni Banerjee. She is an assistant professor at the American College, Madurai, Department of Visual Communication. Over to you, ma'am.
Hello, sir.
Yeah.
Thank you for the opportunity. I guess this is being streamed in the classroom. Yes.
Yeah, this is streamed live on Facebook as well. Official.
Okay, fine. So I just have a request. Please keep taking screenshots. Okay,
Yeah.
and also keep taking photos of the place from where you are watching it. Okay, so that it will be helpful for me.
Yeah.
And at the end of the session, I'll be sharing a feedback link, which I'll be sending it to you also in your WhatsApp, so that you can give it to the participants. They can fill it up. Okay?
Sure, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. Please give me the permission to record. It's asking for permission from the host.
Yeah, this is. I'll change you to make host. So allow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
Now I can record.
Yeah.
Fine. Okay, fine. So hello everybody, and please like all of you keep speaking to me. I think you have a mic there, you can talk to me, right? Yeah, and most of you understand Hindi also, I believe.
Yeah, they do. They do.
So
yeah.
we'll be, so मैं bilingual, I'll be bilingual, okay? कभी कभार English, कभी कभार हिंदी, दोनों में ही मैं बात करूंगी. ठीक है? So that it's easy, because it is something where we need to, understand what is happening.
Yeah.
Instead of just, एक-sided lecture नहीं होना है ये. This will be two-sided. आपको भी बोलना है, मुझे भी बात करना है. दोनों मिलके हम लोग देखेंगे कि how much we can do about to eliminate or to avoid or to restrict fake news. Okay, so I'll start my slide now. I guess the slide is visible.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah. So Factshala, I think Venkatesh sir has told you that I'm a Factshala trainer and all. So what is it about? Factshala is nothing but it's, an initiative by Data Leads Internews, along with the support of Google, for what we need to evaluate, we need to understand information. Jo information hamare aas paros hai, we need to understand that, and we need to know that kis par vishwas kiya ja sakta hai, kis par nahi. Okay. So, kyunki the basic reason why we have to do this is because we have so much of information near us. Okay. Basically, people living in cities or tier 3 cities or villages, we are loaded with too much of information. Now the problem is that we cannot stop the information flow. हम एक दिन उठ के नहीं बोल सकते कि हमें मोबाइल नहीं यूज करना है, चलो हमें लैपटॉप भी नहीं यूज करना है, इंटरनेट यूज ही नहीं करना. We cannot go ahead with that. So what we can do is we can critically evaluate information so that we are not falling into the trap of fake news or fake information. And it has got nothing to do कि मैं बड़ा आदमी हूँ, मेरे पास बहुत सारे qualification, I am a very educated person, so I can never fall into these. All these stuffs are never possible because it is all our mindset. हमारा mindset जैसा है, we fall into the trap of fake news or misinformation just like that. So this is an initiative to train people across, like it's a pan-India initiative, pan-India training programs happening, and I'm happy that I'm doing it for all of you. So what are we going to do in this session? We are going to understand the information landscape, the entire critical thinking process, the bias, and what should we do, like what are the critical thinking, like how do we exercise it, what are the ways in which we can improve our critical thinking, and of course at the end we will come to the fact checking session. So I guess आप लोग सब journalism, like all of you are media students, yes? So if you all are media students, this will be very beneficial for you, because we in the media industry we are told कि चलो सबके सब पत्रकार फेक है, वो लोग सब like you know कुछ भी छाप देते हैं, कुछ भी बिना पढ़ के, बिना जांच जानकारी, बिना जांच के, बिना जांच पड़ताल के कुछ भी छाप देते हैं, कुछ भी बोल देते हैं. इन लोगों को क्या भरोसा करना है? So this is the often the tag that is given to media person, that they keep updating things, they keep telling things which is not true. Now information is empowering us, of course. See, you have joined a course of journalism. Why did you join that course? Because you felt that your passion lies in it, you felt that you can do something, so you got this information from somewhere, that doing a media course or doing a journalism course or doing a course in film or advertisement is going to help you and your career. It is going to give you wings to pursue your passion. Now overload jo hota hai, the overload can cripple, it can easily uh, you know demolish everything. So like we have information which is empowering us, similarly lot of information can also demolish everything. It can distract everything in its way. So now what should be done? See, without information we cannot live, of course that is not possible. We cannot uh, live in a situation where there is no information. But what can be done is that information should be there, but we should know how we should react to that information. Okay, because every information may not be very important for us, but that information may be important for somebody else. So we cannot we cannot judge कि ये जरूरत नहीं है और ये जरूरत है. But what we can do is we can understand which one is very crucial for us, which one is very important for us, and how we should react to that particular thing. So basically, our sources of information are mostly newspapers, TV, radio, social media. To bahut nowadays, I think more than the readership of a newspaper, we have more readers online who are checking everything. Everything is available online now. So if you want to check out about some latest travel destinations, you'll probably go online. Okay, if you want to check question papers, last kuch saalon ka question papers, you'll be going online. So most of us will be just going online only. So social media, other websites, and also family conversations, like what we talk with our family. Your father comes and tells you something, you go and tell something to your sibling. So all these conversations are also very big sources of information. Yeah, somebody is speaking.
Yes, Nikhil is speaking. Can you say something?
Yeah, hello.
Yes, sir.
Can
Yes,
you hear
sir.
me?
Yes, sir. Go on. Yeah. Yeah, ma'am. Continue. Yeah.
Yes. Hello, ma'am. Hello.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So these are the major sources of information that we have in our life.
This
Okay.
topic is done, I think.
Pardon? Excuse me, somebody wanted to say something.
Nicholas, sir, you just want to add something? Ma'am, you can continue. If at all they have any interruption, we'll take it at that time. Yeah, you can continue. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So now what does this information, how does it help us? So if we get good information, like if we come to know that there is going to be a problem in a traffic signal, and we get that information and we are aware that there will be a problem in that traffic, so we better take different roads. So this is a good information which is going to help us take some good decisions. Okay. बाकी अभी जो जैसा कोरोना का फोर्थ वेव, सो वी हैव इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट फोर्थ वेव आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा है, कि कौन सा लाइक सिम्टम्स है, अभी जो सिम्टम्स आगे आ रहे हैं. So if we have those information, it is going to be beneficial for our body, for our life, and even we can help others also. So good information helps us take good decisions in our life and also for others' life. So in order to have a very good life, in order to have a healthy life, in order to be very successful, it is important that we go through only information which is very good. And of course, fake information से क्या होगा ना, आप जो जिंदगी में करना चाहते हो, आपको कुछ उल्टा सीधा बोला गया है, आप कर लिए तो आपका ही नुकसान हुआ. Like many fake websites are there which tells that they are going to give you job. They take an amount of 200 rupees, 250 rupees, 300 rupees, and at the end we come to know that okay, nothing is like true. It's all fake. They've just taken the money. They're not going to give us job. So that's a bad information which has led to something bad in your life. You have been cheated. You spent money. Okay, you lost some amount of money. So that is why good information is very beneficial for us. So now to understand this information landscape, we need to understand the difference between traditional media and social media. So traditional media में क्या होता है ना? Once the reporter is coming up with the news, it goes through multiple checks and verifications in the newspaper house or else wo television news channel. They go through multiple checks and verifications, and then the news is broadcast or then the news is published. But in social media, exactly opposite happens. Anybody, any Tom, Ram, Sham, koi bhi ho, anybody can just publish anything in social media, and people can start commenting on that. They can start sharing it. They can take a screenshot and share it. So there are multiple ways in which a thing goes viral. It's not only that the post is being shared. Somebody can take a screenshot also and share it abundantly. You may not even have a record of how many screenshots have been shared. Okay, so there's no verification. Nobody is there to verify कि ये आपने गलत बोला है, ये आपने सही बोला है. जो न्यूज़पेपर टेलीविजन चैनल्स पे होता है, यहाँ पे आपका हमारे बॉसेस रहते हैं, वो लोग हमारे जो इन्फॉर्मेशन हम दे रहे कि यहाँ पे एक्सीडेंट हुआ है, वहां पे मर्डर हुआ, ये क्रॉस वेरीफाई करता है along with police and the government and everything. But social media हमें कुछ भी कुछ अंदाजा हुआ, हमने लिख दिया, किसी ने पढ़ लिया, ओके, उस पे क्या like impact हो रहा है, we never try to find that. So that is why it is said that anything in the social media shouldn't be believed at once. It can be forwarded very easily. Okay. So now what happens is false information can cost life. Like, see, mobs are killing people in India based on false rumors spread through WhatsApp. This was something which had happened during the first wave. Okay, during the first wave, it had happened, and there was a place in Bombay where all the people had come up, and then they were told that they'll be taken to their villages because there was an intense lockdown for 21 days. And फिर उसके बाद क्या हुआ? People came to know that with a fake, nobody is taking us to any village or anything. So imagine the kind of problem that happens due to just a fake message which people got in WhatsApp and they believed it. So this is happening continuously. This is happening. There was some message which was shared in Facebook, and then people started sharing it, believing it. They assembled in a place. They started, violating the rules. They started killing each other, injuring each other. So this had happened in Bangalore. And बाद में पता चला कि ये जो जिसने भी ये शेयर किया वो तो पूरा के पूरा फेक न्यूज ही शेयर किया है. So it is not just that we read something and ऐसे ही उड़ा दिए उस बात को. ऐसा नहीं है. People tend to believe them, and then it may cost life also. So the Supreme Court has also come up and it said that fake news and panic will destroy more lives than the coronavirus. So it's not the coronavirus which will take more lives. It is the panic situation which is created due to the fake news being abundantly shared that people will die, and which to a certain extent was true also. Now, how it was true, we will come when we see the examples. In Iran, wild rumors spread that drinking alcohol is effective against COVID-19. And what happened? 800 people died. Okay? आप just इसको मैं बोल रही इसलिए विश्वास मत कीजिए. आप खुद जाके चेक कीजिए. न्यूज में है कि ईरान में 800 लोगों का देहांत हुआ है because they ended up drinking alcohol and they were told that if you drink alcohol, it is going to be effective against COVID. And remember, during the first COVID wave, 2020, okay, we didn't know anything about COVID. We didn't even know that how it is going to react. So the problem that happened is people started believing in everything and anything. now in this situation, like now when we are entering a phase where we can see a fourth wave, now we know that okay, this may not be true, this can never be true. Okay, somebody comes and tells you कि आप alcohol पी लो तो आपको covid नहीं होगा, definitely you're not going to believe this, right? So this is the situation. हमारे like mental situation कैसा होता है उसके आधार पर basis करते हैं ऐसे fake news फैलाया जाता है. So how do these rumors they spread? First is some gossip content, some fake content. It will be shared. It will be circulated online. It can be through WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, any process. Okay, and then there will be a panic situation, which will lead to false information is being spread everywhere, and then there will be a damage to the society which is done, which you cannot get back. The damage that is done, whether it's a physical damage or it's a damage to the people, whatever, you cannot get back life and you cannot get back the property also. So the damage is already done. Yeah, tell me, somebody wanted to say something.
Yeah, we were talking of the rumors and the damage. So
Yes.
like in the first wave, in Delhi, there was this rumor, especially in the first wave, that special trains have been arranged for the migrant workers to reach their states, and around 3,000 people gathered at Delhi railway station, and it became a huge issue for the government.
Yes.
So as you told, it was later found to be false, and it was more of a rumor, and especially in WhatsApp. So and you also have a lot of rumors, like for example, Donald Trump telling that everybody you drink phenyl bottles and it will cure you for your COVID and stuff. So so lot of such rumors were also spread in that
Yes,
especially in the
yes,
first
yes.
wave. Yeah.
Yes, and also the thing is that there was a lot of anti-COVID propaganda also, which did no good to anybody. So the thing is that हमें ये सब पता करना है. We should understand that which information is misleading and why is it done. There will definitely be a purpose behind sending some information. So like Venkatesh sir told that the people assembled in railway station. So what it was to disrupt the government's peaceful way of handling the lockdown. So if too many people assemble in a place, not only is it going to affect the health of so many people, but it is also going to disrupt the law and order of that particular place. So that is the motive behind that, to disturb the balance. And another thing which people always keep telling, okay, I'm highly educated, I am so senior, I have seen the world more than you, I can never fall for fake news. That is never the story. Anybody can fall for fake news. Okay, anybody can fall for fake news. The only thing is that it is our state of mind. In what state of mind are we? Are we exercising the critical thinking process or not? That is what is important. It is not our age, or it is not like I am highly educated, nothing like that. कुछ भी हमारे मन के स्थिति कैसा है, उसके आधार पर हम क्या रीड कर रहे हैं, whatever I am reading or whatever I am watching, accordingly it is going to impact me. So whatever looks like news is never actually news. Okay, it might look very glossy, sharp, it might look like a news, whatever comes in WhatsApp, it may all look like we have news with us, but then actually it is not news. So this is a small exercise for all of you. What are the last 3 things that you read? So now, because it's 3 o'clock now, so you can tell me, like, what did you read from the morning, which you feel may or may not be news? So those who are sitting there, you can just, unmute, switch on the camera, and then you can tell me. What are the last 3 things that you read or shared? आपने पढ़ा, आपने share भी किया. How many of them do you feel are news and how many of them are just किसी ने कुछ भी लिख दिया है, उसको share किया हुआ है? Like, it can be simple and silly good morning messages with a flower, with a sunrise, all these things also. Please come on. You can just unmute and also show the video so that I can see all of you. I guess nobody's there. Just now I saw some a girl who was switching on the camera. I think she's gone. Hello, anybody? Anybody? At least one. See, this is a training program. We need to be very, particular. We need to communicate with each other. Any of you? Venkatesh sir, nobody is there.
No, most of the time they never open their mouth.
No, at least they can open the camera.
Yeah.
At least if you don't open your mouth, at least open the camera. Okay, let me move on. Okay. You can also write here, others, those who are watching, you can also write something if you want in the chat box. If you feel hesitant to switch on your camera or something, you can also write in the chat box. Okay. So now estimated users of internet are 650 million. So imagine the huge, it is increasing regularly, it's increasing daily. Okay, this is the data of 2020, 2021, the data has changed. 2022, right now the data has changed again. So imagine such a huge population of internet users. How are we going to, restrict? आज एक दिन बोल दिया कि कोई भी इंटरनेट यूज मत करो, ऐसा तो हो नहीं सकता है. हम इतने सारे लोगों को तो बंद नहीं कर सकते, उनको जो कारनामा है वो तो हम बंद नहीं कर सकते. तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं? We can, the thing which we can do is कि चलो हम लोग जो इंफॉर्मेशन पढ़ते हैं इंटरनेट में, जो व्हाट्सएप पे पढ़ते हैं, जो फेसबुक पे पढ़ते हैं, उस सबको हम लोग बहुत अच्छे से जांच पड़ताल करके फिर उसको विश्वास करेंगे और दूसरों को भेजेंगे. So this is what we can do. This is what should be actually done. Okay, because we cannot stop. And also another thing is that it's not the city people who are using more internet. It is actually coming from the 2 tier and 3 tier cities more. Okay, even villages में internet है. Probably the network might not be that good. Okay, कुछ areas में network अच्छे होते हैं, कुछ areas में network अच्छे नहीं होते, but ऐसा नहीं कि internet है ही नहीं. Internet है. Okay, except few remote locations, you will definitely have an access to internet all across the country. And इसके लिए हमें ये जानना जरूरी है कि what is the difference between news and opinion. So news is something which gives us some kind of an information, but opinion will be very persuasive. So news is giving us information. Okay, there has been a scheme by the government. Government ने ऐसा scheme डाला है. Government is doing this. That is something which information which I am getting as a news with facts and figures. Okay, but opinion is something where I get to know somebody's viewpoint. Okay, it is not somebody speaking, telling with facts and figures. That person is telling something which he or she feels. And most of the times whatever we read in WhatsApp, we get confused between this news and opinion. हमें क्या लगता है ना, WhatsApp पे आए तो ये तो न्यूज ही है, ये तो खबर है, ये तो बाकी कुछ नहीं है. We fail to understand that that is not news. News will always be from some genuine source. It will be having facts and figures. It will never have a subjective opinion कि मुझे लगता है ये गलत है, मुझे लगता है सही है. News will never tell you whether it is सही और गलत. News will always tell you what has actually happened. Okay, so if we understand this basic thing, I think most of the times we can avoid a lot of fake news. And also news will be very objective, impersonal. It will never have कि गलत सही, मुझे लगता है, मैंने देखा है. It will never be like that. It will always be showing the two sides of the coin. Whereas for an opinion, it will be very personal by nature. So why should you even bother? कौन सा क्या है? क्योंकि न्यूज रिपोर्टिंग न्यूज गिव्स यू information which helps you take good decisions, but opinions will always, give you something what others are thinking about. So this is what we need to be very careful about. And again, another thing, have you come across any fake news? Any fake news which you believed and later came to know that okay, that is fake? Bhavna, I can see Bhavna. You can just open the camera or you can write it in the chat box. See, मुझे आप लोगों से बात करना है, ये एक तरफा बातचीत तो हो नहीं रहा है. You should also tell me your experience of, fake news देखा है आपने, बिलीव किया था, आपको नुकसान हुआ है या फिर किसी और का हुआ है, ऐसे कुछ उदाहरण आपको भी देना है. Someone please switch on the camera at least. Nobody is there. Are they even sitting there? Venkatesh sir, you can ask the person who is sitting there to click a photo and send to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bhavna ji, you've joined. At least you can tell something.
Good afternoon, ma'am. I'm here.
Very good afternoon. बोलिए, कुछ फेक न्यूज देखा है, पढ़ लिया है, बिलीव कर लिया है?
मैम वो जब पबजी वगैरह का टाइम था तो उस टाइम पे बहुत सारी ऐसी न्यूज थी ना जिसमें ऐसा था कि बहुत सारे गेम्स और बैन हुए थे, बट वो एक्चुअली नहीं बैन हुए थे. वो इंडियन गेम्स थे भी नहीं एक्चुअली.
Yes. So
तो ऐसा ये बिलीव किया था थोड़ा, बट वो फेक था.
yes, exactly. Okay, so day to day life में ऐसा बहुत कुछ होता है. भावना, प्लीज आस्क योर फ्रेंड्स. आप भी वहीं पे हो, बैठे हो आप वहीं पे?
No, ma'am, I'm actually in my hostel. I can't ask them right now.
Okay, ठीक है. You can just communicate with them so that at least camera तो on करे, मुझे दिखाई तो दे कौन बैठे हैं वहाँ पे. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So,
Thank you, ma'am.
like this, we have lot of fake news. Now, fake news can be categorized. Okay. So the first category of fake news that we have is misinformation. Misinformation is something that is false. वो गलत है, गलत सूचना है. But the thing is that we believe that it is true. Like just now भावना ने बोला है कि गेम्स बैन हुआ है, क्या बैन हुआ है, कौन सा बैन हुआ है, कौन सा चाइनीज गेम है, कौन सा इंडियन गेम है, बिना जांच पड़ताल करके कुछ भी देख के she believed it. And she believed it to be true. And she said this to many people also. Okay. Or maybe she uploaded it as a status. ऐसा ही होता है ना, when we believe something, we upload it as a status. We tend to share that information to everybody. So that is the misinformation, that we know that it is, it is like we don't know that it is false. We think to be true, but later on we come to know that it is false. Okay. So this is misinformation, and disinformation is something which is being deliberately shared everywhere, purposely knowing that it is false. So right now, if I share an information कि कल से lockdown है, and you people will be what? नहीं, I didn't hear something like this. I'll be like नहीं, कल से तो lockdown ही है. देखिए lockdown ही कल से. आपको पता नहीं है, वहां पे बोल दिया है ना, सरकार ने तो अनाउंस कर दिया है. So why I am doing this? I am deliberately telling you a false information to create problems in your life. Now ऐसा बोल दिया तो जो लोग हॉस्टल में, वो लोग घबरा जाएंगे कि कैसे घर जाना है. ठीक है. So to create a panic situation deliberately, I intentionally I spread a lie, a false information. So this is disinformation. But there are several categories under fake news. It can be misinformation, disinformation, some unscientific claims, okay, some rumors, some false context, imposted content. I think आप लोग तो सब media के students, so you keep doing a lot of Photoshop and everything. So imposted content, it will be very easy for you to know. Okay, what is an imposted content? शाहरुख खान के what is that called? शाहरुख खान और कटरीना कैफ खड़े, तो आपने शाहरुख खान से शाहरुख खान का लाइक माथा हटा दिया, वहां पे आपने किसी और बंदे का सर लगा दिया, so it looks like that fellow is standing with Katrina Kaif. So all this imposter content will be done, manipulated content, satire, parody, propaganda. Propaganda तो बहुत ज्यादा ही होता है, like it mostly it is the political propaganda which is being sprayed, and most of the times it is fake. So what are the major dangers that we have if there is fake news? First thing is that we don't believe something which is genuine also. So आपने न्यूज में कुछ देख लिया, आपको लगेगा कि नहीं नहीं ये भी गलत है, this is also fake, this cannot be true, and it creates confusion among people. People will not know what happens. A panic stricken situation will be created, and then there will be a lot of chaos, there will be a lot of fear, okay, uncertainty, एक stereotypes हो जाता है, ओके, मिसलीडिंग कंटेंट होगा तो डेफिनेटली लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन भी खराब हो जाएगा. जैसे कि यू नो लाइक वेंकटेश सर टोल्ड दैट दिल्ली में रेलवे स्टेशन में सब लोगों को बुलाया, चलो आपको आपके गांव भेजते हैं. बाद में क्या हुआ, बिकॉज ऑफ दिस फेक न्यूज द लॉ एंड ऑर्डर सिचुएशन वाज कंप्लीटली crippled. Okay, public health concerns, this covid actually opened our eyes ki how fake information can create lot of problem regarding our health. बिकॉज सेकेंड वेव के दौरान क्या हुआ था ना, गलत सूचनाएं आ रही थी, वहां पे ऑक्सीजन है, यहाँ पे बेड है, एंड व्हेन वी एंडेड अप गोइंग देयर वी फाउंड दैट नथिंग इज अवेलेबल. सो दिस आर द थिंग्स व्हिच हैपेंस. एंड वोटर्स इलेक्शन के टाइम में तो ये सब बहुत होता है कि इसने ये किया, उसने वो किया, ओनली टू गेट some amount of votes. So it is actually the entire country suffers because of the misinformation or disinformation. It may look, you know, very temporary, or it may look a day to day affair, ठीक है, बट क्या होता है ना, ये पूरा जो हमारा विश्वास है पूरा मीडिया सिस्टम के ऊपर वो खराब हो जाता है. The problem with fake news is that it also makes us less likely to accept truthful information, which is actually very dangerous. So आपको सही सूचना भी गलत लगने लगेगा, ठीक है. So why is social media more prone to misinformation? The reason is that, see, social media जो है यहाँ पे कोई भी कुछ भी बोल सकता है, anybody can do anything. So there is no possibility, to go through any checking, verification, modification, nothing. There's nobody, until and unless your post is reported, nobody is going to make any comments regarding that. So social media is very, very much prone to misinformation. There's very little checks and verifications. And social media may, to manipulate something, it doesn't take too much of time. You have multiple filters, you have so many apps which gives you filters. There is also an app where you can, you know, reduce your age, you can increase your age, you can go and check how you look like when you turn 60 or when you turn 70. So all these things are there. So people will not know that it is a creative work which is being done. People will tend to believe all those. So there will be real video with false message, there may be a fake video with a real audio, there may be a fake audio with a real video. Many things can happen. And the context, you know, और 5 minute का वीडियो आपने आधा काट दिया, 2 minute दिखाया, तो you will never understand the context in which the video was made. Okay, so like this, it happens. It's very easy to do all this in social media. Like social media has made our lives easy to communicate, it has also made it very susceptible for things to be circulated easily, which may be fake by nature. Now, people tend to trust their network of friends and family for news, and these organic formations are reflected. See, you may not believe in social media. You may not have an account in social media. You may say कि मेरा तो Instagram में नहीं है, Facebook नहीं है, मैं सिर्फ WhatsApp पे हूँ, बाकी तो कुछ में नहीं है मेरा account. But the thing is that the people around you, they are very much into social media. So what happens is, what kind of information they believe in, that will definitely come to you. So you cannot say that, okay, as because you're not directly a member of a social media app, so you cannot say that, okay, you are not, you know, you're escaped from that. Definitely not, because people around you are definitely using social media abundantly. Okay, so there is a situation called filter bubble. So filter bubble क्या होता है ना, you like something, suppose आपको शाहरुख खान बहुत पसंद है, ठीक है, आप शाहरुख खान के देखते ही रहते हो, उनके गाने सुनते रहते हो, उनके इंटरव्यूज देखते रहते हो, you keep watching his award ceremonies, you keep watching anything regarding Shahrukh Khan, and what happens is, in your suggestions you'll get things related to Shahrukh Khan only. So that is the filter bubble which is created. This actually happens in internet, and it is happening because of the algorithm. It's not that someone जानबूझ के आपको कुछ कर रहे हैं. It's all because of the algorithm. You tend to see something more in YouTube, you'll get suggestions regarding that particular thing in YouTube. Or it may also happen in Facebook pages also. You like cooking, you check all the cooking things in Facebook, automatically you'll get suggestions from all the cooking pages. Okay, you like some particular heroine Katrina Kaif, you go to her profile, all the fan pages suggestions will be coming to you. And Instagram, actually, there is no Ranbir Kapoor in Instagram, but there are so many fake handles of Ranbir Kapoor in Instagram. So people might believe that that's a real account, and people may start following it and believe that that's a real account of Ranbir Kapoor. That is why we have this blue tick verified account now. But many people may not know that particular incident, right? So that is the thing. So this is what filter bubble actually does. Okay, it keeps showing you things which you have been always watching it. You already stay in a bubble. You will not come out of that bubble. Okay, आपको ये भी नहीं पता चलता कि शाहरुख खान के अलावा भी एक दुनिया है जहाँ पे बहुत सारे अलग अलग स्टार्स हैं. They are doing commendable job. ये चीज आपको पता ही नहीं चलता है because you are continuously watching something related to Shahrukh. So इसमें क्या होता है ना? It leads to an echo chamber. Now what happens in this echo chamber is you already like something. आपको शाहरुख खान पसंद है. Now somebody telling you something against Shahrukh Khan, you will never be able to accept that. आप वो मानोगे ही नहीं. आप झगड़ा कर लोगे, आप मारपीट कर लोगे. You will never accept somebody telling something against Shahrukh Khan. Why? Because you like him. You are watching content which shows that Shahrukh Khan is great. Shahrukh Khan is a good actor, and वो महान है. वो बहुत चैरिटी कर रहा है. ये सब देख के आपके मन में एक भावना बैठ गया है कि वही अच्छे है. मतलब कि कोई और उनके बारे में क्या राय रखता है उसके बारे में आपको कोई परवाह ही नहीं है. आप उसके बारे में सुनना भी नहीं चाहोगे क्योंकि that echo chamber has formed in your mind. Okay, so that biasness have started in your mind where you cannot accept something which does not conform to what you believe. So आप अगर मानते हो कि ढोकला दुनिया का सबसे बढ़िया स्नैक्स है, तो आप कभी ये नहीं मान पाओगे कि कचौड़ी भी एक स्नैक्स है जो बढ़िया है. आप ढोकला के ऊपर ही टिके रहोगे. आपको वड़ा पाव पाव भाजी भी पसंद नहीं आएगा. नूडल्स पिज्जा बर्गर तो आप पसंद ही नहीं करोगे. तो क्यों ये हुआ है ना? बिकॉज यू आर सो मच इन्वॉल्व इन दैट पर्टिकुलर थिंग, यू विल नेवर बी एबल टू एक्सेप्ट समथिंग व्हिच इज अदर देन व्हाट यू बिलीव. Okay, so this is the echo chamber that it leads to. Now what are the types of misleading content we have? So this is a propaganda. Congress MLA writing something about BJP party member. Okay, they say that okay, actually this was shared like ये जो aeroplane है ये तो private jet है मोदी का, and look how it looks. And then when it was fact checked, okay, it was fact checked by major fact checking agencies, उसके बाद हमें पता चला है कि this was just a propaganda. कुछ बीजेपी के बारे में कुछ बोलना है तो बोल दिया है, कांग्रेस के बारे में कुछ बोलना है तो बोल दिया है. ओके, आम आदमी के बारे में कुछ बोलना है तो बोल दिया है. तो उसमें फैक्ट है कि whether it is true or not, nobody wants to check that. They just publish something, they just write something whatever they feel like. So this is a clear cut example of a propaganda. Now we'll have this clickbait. Clickbait के क्या होता है ना, कोई भी वेबसाइट आप जाओ ना, beneath all those website, when you read everything, beneath that you will have all these. What does it actually say? Either it will be telling you about earning money, or it will be telling you about your health. Why? Because most of the times we are worried about our health and money. ये दोनों को छोड़ के बाकी कोई चीज में हमें दिलचस्पी नहीं है. Do you agree? Do you think there is anything more which is more concerning than health and money? I don't think so there's anything. So this is what actually happens. This is that clickbait. Okay, these are clickbait. So आपने click कर लिया, you go, you might end up giving your bank account details, and then you'll know that you've been robbed of your money. So these are also very dangerous things that happens. Satarsi, LOI, it looks like Times of India actually, but it is not Times of India, it is Lines of India. Okay, then Times How, it looks like Times Now, but it is not Times Now, it's Times How. So all these are hoax websites or hoax apps that have been created to mislead people. Then error. like I told you that every time it is not कि मैं तो बड़े educated हूँ, मैं बहुत पढ़े लिखे आदमी हूँ, and then मेरा उम्र भी बहुत है, मुझे सब कुछ पता है. It's never like that. See, Rajdeep Sardesai is a very famous journalist. I think all of you know that. So Rajdeep Sardesai also fell for this fake news where, 13th August he had put up in his Twitter that Pranab Mukherjee passed away. And then after, half an hour, he comes up with another disclaimer that it was a fake news, and then he believed that and he put it up on Twitter, and he's very ashamed of this entire thing and he apologizes to people. See, imagine a seasoned, a veteran journalist like Rajdeep Sardesai is falling for this fake news problem. Okay. And then we have this pseudo saying, basically अभी कोविड के टाइम में तो इतना सारा है, आप ये खाओ, आप ये पियो, आप वो पहनो, आप ये करो, आप वो जाप करो, ये करो, आपको कोरोना नहीं होगा. So this was actually done, under the pretext of telling that some Dr. Ansari and Dr. Lamai have, told this. They belong to Nanavati Hospital. Can we actually just go and check whether they have actually told this or not? We can actually go to Nanavati Hospital site and find out whether there is anybody called Dr. Ansari or Dr. Lamai. And if they're there, have they recommended this kind of a treatment? Instead of believing mindlessly because उन दोनों का नाम है. Okay. And then Nanavati Hospital had to come up with, a disclaimer. They had to come up by telling people that, okay, vitamin C is very good for health, no doubt about that. But they have never given, a suggestion or a recommendation that you need not do anything. You don't need any medication. You just need to do this. It was never like that. Okay. So, इसीलिए, we need to believe things before it gets too late, because ये पढ़ के many people will be like, मुझे तो दवाई का जरूरत ही नहीं है, मैं तो जैगरी घी और ड्राई जिंजर बॉल बना के खा लिया तो मुझे तो कोविड छू भी नहीं सकता है. So these are all pseudoscience which is being spread. Now, who do you trust? So what should we do in order to, know that whom should we trust and not? Consider the source. We should be very particular about the source. We should check the date. Okay. We should also find out from experts whether it is true or not. So किसी ने आपको बोल दिया कि आप नींबू पानी पियो, आपको कोरोना होगा नहीं. Why don't you go and check it out with the doctor also, that whether having just nimbu pani is going to cure you of corona, or there are also other medications which we need to do to get rid of corona. And for that, what we have to do is we have to develop critical thinking. So this is a small exercise. Count all the F's in the box. Please, at least I want answer from all of you in this. This is nothing बहुत critical कुछ नहीं है. Simple सा thing है. Just find out how many F's are there in the box. Please, people sitting there, कुछ तो जवाब दीजिए इसका. How many F's are there?
5 in the yellow box and 1 in the one on the top.
What about others? Please ask, sir. Please ask them to at least say this.
अरे कितना इजी को एक्सरसाइज से बता दो, जवाब बता दो ना.
Good to hear Hindi from you, Venkatesh sir. Someone was sitting there, a girl, I believe. Where did she disappear? Hello. कोई भी नहीं है. Okay, so the result is 6. Okay, so now whether you made a mistake or we didn't make a mistake, the problem with this is that we process information very differently. Like I told you, it is the state of our mind. It is exactly what we are thinking at what point of time. Every time we may not be concentrating everything very clearly. So what happens is we tend to see things in a different way. Now, what will critical thinking help you with? Critical thinking will help you in analyzing the information. It should be reasonable, it should be reflective, and also it will help you take a judgment which is very rational and logical. So, therefore, this critical thinking should be exercised in every sphere of life. Another exercise we have. See, actually, this training session is very interactive by nature, but कोई interact ही नहीं कर रहे हैं मेरे साथ. This is a picture. You just have to tell me what you see instantly when you look at this picture. Come on, somebody who is sitting in the class or studio or whatever it is, please tell me what do you see in this picture.
So this picture shows varied, dimensions. Like on one from one particular angle, or basically a perspective, one you can see a barren tree on one side, and the other hand you have the clouds, and you have couple of houses, and you have a fallen bark and a couple of mushrooms. But when you look from a different perspective, the houses takes the visualizes to you as the eyes of a man. And we also have white colored clothing or stuff which looks almost like a beard of a man. And on the bottom we have animals that are pictured. So the and on the right side you also have a tree which is almost looking like a creaking willow, but with it is affected by wind or something. So you have these many perspectives that it sheds upon. And the clouds also give you a different perspective, that there is more to more than what meets the eye. Yeah.
True, true, true. Yes, sir. So exactly, when we look at it once, we feel like it's like a face of an old man. When we dig deeper, when we try to observe in more detailed manner, we see the other things also. So this is what actually happens when we look at any message or something. Okay. So the thing is that what we think we are. This is a very old phrase, old saying. I think, therefore I am. Cogito ergo sum. So the way we think, that only shows what kind of a life I'm living. So this critical thinking is going to help us think about thinking. It will help us in analyzing information from different perspective. We can compare this information with other information. We can evaluate the information critically, and also we can conclude what is exactly it. We will be more rational and logical if we are doing things in a critical manner, or else we'll be very biased by nature. And to make and take important decisions in your life, it is very important that you exercise this critical thinking process. Or else what happens is, most of the times if we are biased, we may not be able to take good decisions. So most of the times biasness leads us to bad decisions only. So therefore, if we are very logical and rational, we'll be very good citizens, very responsible citizens, and smart citizens also. And another thing, we want to satisfy everybody, and we end up not telling what is true and what is false. We cannot satisfy everybody. It's not possible to stop everybody. People will be gossiping, people will be having an opinion about you. You cannot go and change everybody. The only thing what we can do is that we can be an independent thinker. Okay, we can be an independent thinker, and so what happens is that we will have a mind of our own. So it will not lead to any problem. Even if I'm not following the flock, देखिए एक तरफ birds जा रहे हैं, there is only one bird which is going against the stream. So even if this happens, क्या होता है, आपका एक अलग सा एक राय है, ओपिनियन है, you have a different thought which is absolutely your own, and that is very very welcome. ठीक है, so this ये बहुत जरूरी हो जाता है. तो यहाँ पे क्या करना है ना, this bias and independent thinking, we have to know that very well, so that we can get rid of the biases as much as possible, and we can be more logical and rational by nature. And before to know that, we have to first know what our biases are. See, we all carry biases. It's not something very uncommon or unnatural. Okay, सबके पास biases है. Those who are watching me, listening to me, do you have any biases? Any biases hai aapka? Like you have a bias towards food, towards language, towards religion, towards state, towards country, towards dress. It's very very natural to have biases, but उन biases के वजह से हमारा सोच पर जो एक दही जम जाता है ना, वो नहीं होना चाहिए. Even though we are biased towards something, we should try to look it from a very objective point of view as much as possible, so that we make good decisions. So even studies have told that we are biased to a very larger extent, and that is the major reason why these fake news are being spread so much. ठीक है ना? So what are the types of biases that we have? Bandwagon effect bias. It means that सब लोग कर रहे हैं तो चलो मुझे भी करना है. Okay, you never try to think that okay, this should be something different. Illusory correlation bias means, as because you have been hearing this for a long time, you try to connect both, and you try to say that okay, this is what is happening. Like एक लड़का या लड़की रास्ते पे घूम रहे, तो आपने बना दिया उनको लवर बना दिया. Illusory correlation bias. You are assuming that a boy and a girl can never be friends, they cannot be colleagues, they cannot be siblings, they can only be lovers, and you try to connect that. So that is a biasness that you have. And then we have this declinism bias. Declinism bias means that people tend to say that everything in the past was so good and everything in the future is going to be so bad. So that is another biasness. Illusory truth effect bias means, as because you've been listening to something from a very long time, you feel that that is absolutely true. Okay, you feel that that illusion is absolutely true, and you know that you know that it cannot be wrong. Okay, so this is what actually happens. Illusory truth effect. Like आपको बोला गया है कि लड़कियों को देर रात तक बाहर नहीं घूमना चाहिए. So you tend to believe that कि okay, लड़की है, घर की लक्ष्मी है, घर पे ही रहना चाहिए, बाहर क्यों घूमना है उसको, and all those things. So this is an illusory truth effect bias that has happened. Ambiguity effect bias means that you try to find out what is the probability something, and you don't know the outcome, but you want to do certain, like you don't want to try something without testing the outcome. So you don't want to basically experiment. So you have a restaurant, okay, आप वही restaurant पे regularly जाते हो. Now there's a new restaurant which has come up. You don't want to go there. Why? Because you are scared of the outcome. पैसा ज्यादा होगा कि खाना बकवास होगा कि क्या होगा पता नहीं है. So you are scared of the outcome, and hence you don't want to try that new restaurant. Next is base rate neglect bias. That means that you try to ignore the general information, okay, and you are very specific about particular information. So गुजरात में अगर कुछ बढ़िया सा हो रहा है, उसको छोड़ के आपको बड़ौदा में क्या हो रहा है उसी पे आपका ज्यादा ध्यान है. So that is a base rate neglect bias. You are not concerned about what is happening in the capital. You're not concerned about what is happening in the country. You're just bothered about मेरा बड़ौदा तो सुरक्षित है, बस उतना ही काफी है मुझे. Okay. Then in the continued influence effect bias, tendency to believe something which has been proven to be misinformation, yet you do not want to change your mind. So किसी ने आपको बोल दिया है कि you should be vaccinated, but you believe that you should not be vaccinated. It has been proven also that vaccination helps, but then you believe that no, you are stuck. So that is a continued influence effect bias. And curse of knowledge bias. That is, you believe that people who are better informed, who are more knowledgeable, they, they do not understand the problems of lesser informed people. So illiterate people का problems, illiterate people ही नहीं, उन लोगों का problems हमें नहीं समझ में आते. इस तरीके का there's a curse of knowledge also. And then gender bias, I don't think so I need to say anything about gender bias. It is a very common thing. Bias, blind spot, that means we see ourselves as very less biased than other people. And then third person effect bias, that is that we tend to blame everything on the media. जितने भी कांड में, हाँ, एवरीथिंग फॉर एवरीथिंग मीडिया इज रिस्पॉन्सिबल, मीडिया को ही कसूरवार ठहरा रहे हैं हम लोग, और कुछ हमें दिखाई देता ही नहीं है. So now in news, we have these biases. We have a bias of corporate, we have a bias of demography and partisan. Of course, most of the news organizations, they are biased in a party point of way, corporate way se bhi biased hai, and demographic way se bhi biased hai. So what happens is that when they are biased towards a particular political party, they will never give you an objective picture of the opposition party also. And if they are being funded by a particular corporate house, they will be very biased towards that corporate house, and they will never find out the faults of the other they will try to find out faults of the other corporates. And demography, if you are based in one particular area, you will not try to find out the other good things being done by other area. So these are the few things that happens. So this is 6 and also this is 9. It all depends on the perspective from which we see. Okay, we usually do things that is very good for our mind. We cherry pick things according to our mental needs. So if it suits my thing, if it suits my opinion, I'll tell that it is 9. If it suits my opinion, I'll tell it is 6. But we don't know that both might be correct. The opinion might be different, but the fact is correct. Sometimes what we see in front of our eyes is not what we try to notice also. Okay, so bilkul aankhon ke samne hi sab kuch hai, but still we don't like to see that properly. So that also happens. Then the illusory truth effect. Illusory truth effect means बार बार कुछ बोला गया है हमें, तो हमें वही बिलीव होता है, वही विश्वास होता है. तो अगर हमें बोला गया कि कोई जंगल में भूत है, तो बार बार सुनने के वजह से क्या होता है ना, भूत है वही बिलीव करते हैं. हम वहां पे जाके देखना भी नहीं चाहते कि अगर लाइक भूत है भी या नहीं. If we have heard about some horror story from someone, we never try to find out that whether any ghost or spirit actually exists there or not. So because we have heard it from our grandma, our mother, our father, everybody, we tend to believe that. We don't try to find out the truth behind that. Here is another small activity. I think I guess आप लोग हो वहां पे. Have you come across this news during first COVID, second COVID, also third COVID? But this was very much spread, circulated during the first COVID.
Yeah, this was one of the widely, shared fake news that, it will stay for a while, as if, COVID is your relative and it will only stay. And you also had this common news that, it will only, it will die in extreme heat conditions.
Yes,
It will only, stay for prolonged time in cold climate and climatic condition, but not, it won't survive much in very hot and humid conditions. Yeah.
So this was shared indiscriminately, and why was it shared so much? It was shared because there was a belief that home remedies will be curing coronavirus. So therefore people started to believe them. Okay, it was not like we tried to find it out from a doctor. We were told कि आप gargle करो आप ठीक हो जाओगे. Okay, you have rasam. Actually, the thing which was going on in Tamil Nadu at that point of time is you drink rasam. How much ever possible you drink rasam, you will never get corona. So that is the problem that happens. We tend to believe something which has been told. We don't try to verify it from the sources and experts. This is another thing. Where is this live happening, sir?
In Facebook, ma'am. Yeah.
Okay, which page of Parul University?
Yeah, Parallel University, official Facebook page of the university.
Okay, is there a live going on? Because I cannot see.
Yeah, it is going live also. Yeah, live on Facebook also. Yeah.
Okay, I can see some person giving some speech. I can't see mine. Okay, if possible, you can share the link
Yeah.
so that I can see whoever is in Facebook, so that even if they have some queries in Facebook, I can at least, get those.
Yeah, I'm posting it in the chat box. Yeah.
Okay. So this was also something which was shared so much. If you are having chicken, it is going to lead to trouble. Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Can you just share it in my WhatsApp also, sir?
Yeah, yes, ma'am.
Okay. Later, we found out why this was shared. The basic reason was that there is a kind of mindset that exists that non-veg khana galat hai, veg khana acha hai. That is completely your belief. It all depends on the kind of upbringing you had, and also the kind of values are there in your family or religion. You follow something that is very good, but then the problem is that when you start imposing that on others, okay. So during this corona ka first wave, this was being shared that just like swine flu and everything, this corona has also come because of chicken. And then kya hua tha? This first thing is that ki business pura down ho gaya tha. Second thing is that people started believing it and they stopped eating it. Whereas the doctors were like, you should be eating a lot of protein content because protein can only help you to recover from any kind of कोरोना 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 से आपको बचा सकता है. But then this was being shared indiscriminately. So this is another thing which happens. So now in this kind of a situation where we see so many things like these, how can we exercise critical thinking? So what we need to do is we have to pay a lot of attention, we have to observe a lot, because I know we are all very very busy. Like we don't have time to even read something very properly. So what happens is that we need to be very careful of what is actually there. We have to pay a lot of attention, बहुत ज्यादा attention देना है. We have to observe it very very carefully. We cannot just say that oh I'm so busy, so I don't have time to read. Never like that. It's never like that. We need to, because we have a lot of information now. So आपको ये देखना जरूरी है कि आप क्या देख रहे हो, क्या कर रहे हो, and what are the ways in which you can improve. The first thing is that you can improve your critical thinking by understanding the difference between facts and opinion. Okay, you can also try to find out the evidence. Always you should find out the evidence. Okay, that क्या है इसका सच्चाई क्या है. कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन जस्ट ऐसे ही आया है एंड यू जस्ट ट्राई टू बिलीव इट, ऐसा नहीं होता है. आपको उसको जांच पड़ताल जरूर करना है. आपको जानना है, आपको समझना है कि ये जो इंफॉर्मेशन आपको भेजा गया है उसके पीछे का कारण क्या है, क्यों भेजा गया है आपको. ठीक है, हर एक इंफॉर्मेशन को एनालाइज करना है. We have to be very open minded. We need to travel a lot, we need to meet new people, because when we meet new people, we travel a lot, our exposure that expands. We understand a lot of things which was probably not there before. So yes, of course, this is very important that we improve our critical thinking, so that कोई भी मैसेज हो, कोई भी इंफॉर्मेशन हो, उसके बारे में हमें पता चले. And what are the questions that you should ask? किसने भेजा है इसको, क्यों भेजा है, अदर सोर्सेस क्या कहते हैं, एक्सपर्ट्स क्या कहते हैं, एविडेंसेस में क्या है. So when someone tells you that okay, you should have only ginger water for as a cure for corona, you should find out whether the doctor have also said the same thing or not, whether the other sources also say the same thing or not. So that way is going to be interesting. That is where your critical thinking is coming into action. We have to dig deeper, we have to ask a lot of questions. We shouldn't just believe in something because it has been told to us. We should go into more details and find out. And of course, lateral reading. Lateral reading we have to exercise. Why? Because आपने Facebook में पढ़ लिया, आपने WhatsApp पे पढ़ लिया, and you believed it. It's not like that. We have to find out the truth. We have to find out the truth from multiple sources, from newspapers, from radio, from websites. आपको किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया तो immediately you just go to the website and see कि वो है भी या नहीं. So in order to find out the truth, we have to access multiple sources, and lateral reading is very essential part of that. Open lot of browsers. Okay, now I'll give you an example. आपको कहीं पे घूमने के लिए जाना है, you want to go to Goa. So what you do is you just type Goa in your Google browser and you search. You get 2-3 आपको मिलता है, options मिलता है आपको. आप वहां पे जाते हो, जाके देख लिया आपने, बट वहां पे क्या हुआ ना, वो 2-3 में जो देखा वो सच है कि नहीं आपको पता नहीं चल रहा. They've been told you that you have to pay 25,000 rupees. कोई और वेबसाइट में गए तो आपने देखा 10,000 है, कहीं और गए तो देखा आपने 50,000 है. तो ऐसे 50,000, 10,000, 5,000, you find out so many things. Okay, and then you can analyze which is true, which is false. Okay, you check the numbers, you go and find out whether the numbers are real or not. You go to that particular travel agent and find out what they are actually doing. Okay, you try to find out their phone number, their Insta ID. Okay, what are the trips they are currently doing. Everything you try to find out. So this is possible only through lateral reading. It's not possible if you just have a number of one particular agent and you go through that. So lateral reading is very, very essential if you want to verify some information. And also the date and time of any data should be checked multiple times. Because कभी कभार क्या होता है ना, 2014 का कोई वेबसाइट है, कोई आर्टिकल है that is being continuously shared to you, and you never bother to check that it is of 2014 or whether it is done in 2022. Comments, of course, when you read the comments, whether it's in Twitter, whether it's in Instagram, or whether it is in Facebook, when you read the comments, you get to know so many things. So you should also read the comments to find out that whatever discussion is happening, whether there's any truth to that or not. And this is a situation which we all face right now, that we become critical of everything. We tend to disbelieve everything. So the only way to stop this experience is that we should be very, very aware of what we are reading, what we are using, and what we are trying to analyze. If you have a doubt, question, verify, try to dig deeper. Then only you can find out what is truth and what is not. And whether if this is true, whether that is true, you will have a lot of doubts in your mind. And to, fulfill those doubts only, you should question a lot. Just because Rajdeep Sardesai has told, Swati Chaturvedi has told कि Pranab Mukherjee has died doesn't mean he's died. If he is a former president of India, so if he has passed away, it will first come from the verified sources. The government of India will itself release a press note that so and so has happened. It can never come from the journalist first, and then it will come from the government. ऐसा नहीं होता है. Government release करेंगे, after that only all the newspapers, all the news channels are going to broadcast a particular piece of information. So when Rajdeep Sardesai is telling something which nobody else has told, you should find out how come he is the only one who is putting up on Twitter that Pranab Mukherjee is dead. Why isn't it being shared by the official channel? Why isn't it being shared by Doordarshan? Why isn't the Instagram handle of Prime Minister sharing this particular piece of information? So this is the way we can verify. Now, what do you do when your family spreads misinformation? How do you protect your family? The best way to protect my family is we should have discussions often. Okay, we should know that हमें रोज बात करना है उनसे. वो लोग क्या सोच रहे हैं, कुछ like any matter, कुछ matter के बारे में क्या सोच रहे हैं. All these we need to keep updating. ठीक है, उन लोगों के पास कोई गलत जानकारी है तो we should always correct them, of course backed by proof and figures. So this is a way in which we can develop a healthy media habit among our family members, because it's not always ki family ko jo pata hai wahi sach hai. It can never be like that. They might also be wrong, I may also be wrong. So to protect my family, I should do this. And also we need to keep telling them things that they believe for a very long time. So even if they have certain ideas about COVID, we need to come and tell them that, okay, this is not true. Even if it has been told to you that vaccine mat lagao. So many elderly people, they believe that vaccine mat lagao. Vaccine lagane se kya fayda hai? We have to come again and convince our family members that that's absolutely not true. Vaccine is actually very helpful. So these are the ways in which we can convince our family members. And WhatsApp forwards. When there is a WhatsApp forward, there'll be a sign, right? We know if it has been forwarded multiple times, we know that. If it has been forwarded only one time, that also we know. So these are the signs in which, if it has been forwarded multiple times, then something might be wrong with that. Okay, until and unless वो कोई webinar है, कोई seminar है, multiple forward हुआ है, कोई ऐसा data है, तो we need to be very wary of all those kind of things. So now our fact checking session starts. Okay, so look at this picture. What do you think of this picture? People sitting there, people watching. What do you think of this picture? Except Venkatesh sir, nobody is replying.
Looks more like, yeah, photoshopped or, yeah, edited, version of some other, video or a picture.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
This is the real picture. But it has been edited in this way. Why? To create a panic that your car is not safe. Another way to tell that, okay, you have a branded car and this car is ultimate car, that it can manage any kind of load. So either ways it is possible. So we have another picture of Rajnath Singh putting a nimbu or chili ka this thing, because it is considered auspicious, है ना? मिर्ची और नींबू का जो हम लगाते हैं घर पे, considered very auspicious in central India, eastern India, western India, northern India. You don't find much of this. I mean, you don't find this in southern India, putting a nimbu and a chili in front of your home. So why did it do? Why is it shown that, okay, it is trying to say that we have to be very careful of China. China वाले तेरे मुंह काला, बुरी नजर वाले तेरे मुंह काला जैसा. Now what happens is, this is the real picture. It is something which is done to a jet plane. Instead of that, someone has edited it and done it in this kind of a format. Another picture, this has been shared by citizens of every country. They keep posting their own president or prime minister in that place. Okay, the real picture is this. There's nobody sitting in between. There is nobody sitting in between. But they keep posting it as, either Trump is sitting there, or Modi is sitting there, or Imran Khan is sitting there, or somebody else is sitting. So why do they do this? They share this kind of, information and data, and, just try to uphold the leader. Another picture. What is the real motive for sharing this false information? It can be either by mistake, or it can be to gain some kind of financial gains. It can be, my ideology is not matching with someone else's ideology, so I want to do that. The political motive, the psychological biases that I have. So everything comes into the forefront. Okay, I'm culturally very different from someone, so I try to make fun of them. My political motives do not match with someone, so I try to make fun of them. I try to share memes, I try to share posts, okay, which are very misleading by nature, and that is the nature. Mostly it is also for financial gain. So someone can monetize, out of those memes if the video goes viral or something like that. So this is something, there was a WhatsApp forward which we received that in Israel there is no death from COVID-19 because they are drinking a drink which is made of lemon and bicarbonate. So to verify this, what we should do is we should go and check it in Google Fact Check Explorer. Okay, I'll just type it here. Anything you want to verify, always go through Google Fact Check Explorer. Google Fact Check Explorer. So if you go to Google Fact Check Explorer, what happens is you can identify that particular information and you can check whether it is true or not. So when you found out this information that in Israel there is no death, why didn't you go to Google and find out whether there are corona cases in Israel or not, instead of just believing this mindlessly? And also these fake information will be in this way, please pass it immediately, show it to everybody, forward it to everybody, immediately consume this drink, like that it will come. Another thing, this is also the way, when we went to Google, we found out that there are so many cases in Israel, but somebody has started sharing a fake message that, okay, there is no corona case there is no death. There are deaths everywhere across the world. We have faced deaths. So how can one country be exempted from death? So these are things we need to be finding out. Okay. Another thing is that there was another post which was followed that ICMR New Delhi has told, don't do this, don't do that. We have to find out actually whether ICMR in their website have found out something, whether they've posted something like that. So when you go to Google Fact Check Explorer, you can find, check the authenticity of this particular data, because they will be fact checking everything and they'll be uploading it in Google Fact Check Explorer. So even if you want to, ICMR, it sounds very nice, Indian Council of Medical Research. Why don't we just go to Indian Council of Medical Research's website and find out this, whether they have uploaded this kind of a data or not? Okay, so that will be helpful. Another thing, WHO has mentioned, this was during the first COVID wave. Okay, during the first COVID wave, we found this, that everybody was uploading this, that WHO has said that there'll be a 1 day relaxation, 21 days lockdown, 5 days relaxation, 28 days lockdown. Actually, the purpose of the lockdown is gone if there is a relaxation, isn't it? The entire purpose of having the lockdown is gone if there is a 5 days relaxation. That we have already seen, right? In second wave, in third wave, we had relaxation, and that led to rise of cases. So before believing this entire thing, why didn't we just go to WHO website and find out whether it's true or not? Why didn't we just go to Google and check whether WHO has actually given any protocol? Because lockdown is dependent on each country, in fact, each state. A lockdown procedure in Tamil Nadu will be very different from a lockdown procedure or restrictions in Gujarat. So why don't we just go and find out what the state government has mentioned, what the central government has mentioned, and instead of that, we tend to believe something and we start sharing. Actually, this was a post which was uploaded as a status by many people. Many people had uploaded this as a status without even verifying whether this is true or false. It's actually misleading people. And then there will be pictures. These are all political propaganda. Shashi Tharoor has shared something related to Indira Gandhi and Nehru, and then people started circulating it. Why don't you just go and check whether it was 1954? After fact checking, it was found that it was not because of Nehru and Gandhi that people assembled. It was because their president had asked people to assemble them. So it is not that these two are very popular there, so people came. Okay, so these are some of the misleading propagandist information which are being shared. This was another thing during the death of Maradona, famous legendary footballer Maradona. It was shared that Donald Trump got confused between Madonna, singer Madonna, and Maradona. But actually, it was then found out that this was a fake thing which was shared. This is a fake thing which was shared. Actually, Donald Trump had never put up on his Twitter about this. Complete fake information which was shared. Somebody had photoshopped this and created this and shared. So imagine the intensity. Somebody is doing this just to, put him in bad light. See, we all have an opinion of Trump that he, uses, fake things, or he just says something which is out of context. But that doesn't mean that, you make a fake ID with the Twitter ID and photograph, and you just make fun of him. So this is done out of humor, or probably to, undermine him or defame him more. So now, another thing that we have apart from Google Fact Check Explorer is Google Lens. So in this also you can go, if you have any picture, you can just upload it there in Google Lens, and also you can check whether this particular picture is a genuine picture, or it has come up to, it is there in multiple places and it is not the one which you were looking for. So Google Lens is also another very useful app. So you can just import the image and you can check, it will give you results whether this image is already existing or not. This is the way in which you can actually do. Like, you can just go, you can share the image, you can find out, you can also scan. So all these kind of things can be done in Google Lens to find out whether any particular image is true or not. This is another picture which is shared, that Gandhi is in very close proximity with another woman. When this was fact checked, this image, it was found that it was not another lady, but it was Nehru who is there in the place. So imagine the kind of audacity which these people do to share fake images. Okay. Now we come to the COVID related fake messages which are being said. This was a fake message which was being circulated everywhere during the second wave. It actually said that there are some beds available in Chennai Trade Center and all. There's a phone number given, and also it's written that verified. When people started calling in this phone number, because everybody was looking for a bed at that point of time, it was found that it was a girl's number which was being misused. Imagine, there is nobody called Kishore, and this phone number doesn't belong to Kishore. It is a girl's number which is being misused, and this girl was flooded with calls that she had to literally switch off the phone. So imagine the kind of situation. This is another hospital taking the letterpad of the hospital. This was being shared that there's a steam campaign being done, and people should assemble at some particular place at a particular time, because that steam campaign will be done and people should be there to get rid of corona. This was actually fact checked by May Factory. Okay. And what was found out was, this hospital came up with a disclaimer that they have never come up with any such thing. उन लोगों ने ऐसा कुछ बोला ही नहीं है, किया भी नहीं है, क्योंकि लॉकडाउन के वक्त वो लोग कोई स्टीम कैंपेन कर ही नहीं सकते हैं. You cannot assemble too many people at one place when there is a lockdown going on. So how can this hospital organize a steam campaign? This was another, information that Ma Subramaniam, he is a minister for health in Tamil Nadu, and his number was shared, his email ID, everything, his address, everything. And then people were asked that you should go, you should do this, you should do that, you should go and then contact him, he's going to help you. Then it was found out that these numbers are not his real numbers, and Ma Subramaniam had to come out and tell that it's a fake message which is being circulated. You cannot call to these numbers and find out any hospital or bed or anything. This was also fact checked by a fact checking agency called May Factory. So imagine the kind of situation. You are looking for a bed, you're looking for an oxygen, you come across some kind of fake news, and then you cannot protect your family members. So instead of, mindlessly going through that, we have to find out, why will a minister actually give the phone number? Minister will never give the phone number. No minister will for that instance give. You can only find phone numbers of ambulance, of hospitals, or doctors, or even the corporation, but you will not find a phone number and email ID of a political leader or a minister. So these basic things, if we try to find out, then it will be very easy for us to not fall into all this trouble. This is another picture which was shared, that Queen is appreciating Prime Minister Modi. The real picture was about Christmas. It was not about Prime Minister Modi. Okay, so again, this was photoshopped. and this particular image is about 5G. So 5G से ऐसा नुकसान होता है, वैसा नुकसान होता है, this happens, that happens, everything was given. This epidemic has come, and the reason for the epidemic is 5G towers. So this kind of a message is very misleading, because corona has not happened because of the 5G towers. Probably there are other side effects because of the mobile towers, like the birds, they get affected, okay? And human beings will also get affected, but not now. So these are what the studies say, but it doesn't say that corona is something which is a byproduct of the 5G or the 4G tower. Another misleading content. Okay, when we go to Facebook pages, we should check this page transparency section, because that will show when the page was created, who created that page, and whether it's a verified page or not. So this particular thing we should go ahead with, because any page they can just start circulating anything. That is not the way it should be done. To find out whether the page is authentic page or not, we need to find out by going to the page transparency. You can find the page history, where, from which country it is being run, who created, everything is available in that. And then verified accounts will always have a blue tick. So you can just check and find out whether the page is authentic page or not, or whether the group is also authentic group or not. Then for video verification, there is something called InVid app. It's an extension which is available in Chrome, which is also available in Firefox. So you can go to this extension, you can download it in your laptop or your system. And then what you can do is, you have some kind of video, you can just go to that video and you can check the data frame by frame. So this is the way in which you can download. See, the process is given in InVid Chrome extension. You can type that, you can download it, and you can add it in your extension. It will show in this yellow icon. This yellow icon will be shown. Okay. So after that is done, what you can do is, you can go and you can paste. Suppose you have a Facebook video or you have an Instagram video. You can just copy the URL and paste it here in this section. And then you can, select the keyframes. In the left-hand side, you have this keyframes. So you can just go to this keyframes, you can select it and you can submit. Now what happens after submitting it is that they will check frame by frame. So there was a video which was given. It was about video. It was a video about monkeys destroying a Delhi hospital, COVID hospital. So when this was searched, the URL was given and then it was submitted. Frame by frame it came. And after this frame by frame extraction, what we came to know is that we can go to the show detailed view option. After this detailed view, the options that came was that it was somewhere in South Africa that has happened, and it was not in India, or it was not in Delhi particularly. Okay. Why? Because after this detailed view, we can also go back, we can do a right click and we can find this debunker by InVid. We can do image reverse search. While doing image reverse search, we'll try to find out whether this particular image is found in other search engines or not, because Google is one of the search engines. Okay, we have so many search engines. Okay, so TinEye, Baidu, Bing, Yandex, everywhere it tries to search the image. Then it was found that it was somewhere in South Africa that this incident had happened. And then there was a fact checker who claimed that it was not South Africa, but it was Zimbabwe where it actually had happened. So imagine someone had put up a fake content about South Africa, someone had put up a fake content about India. So like that they had created. So this is a very useful app. It is not that difficult to handle. You can just go, you can just submit you can paste the URL, you can submit, you can check the keyframes, and it will give you frame to frame analysis of that particular video. So basically we have some common questions about COVID-19, right? Why should I have the vaccine? Why don't we go to this Ministry of Health and Family Welfare India or Ministry of Family and Health Welfare of the particular state, and we try to find out the questions? Why do we always have to believe some forwarded message which has been sent to us by WhatsApp, by somebody? So ऐसा क्यों हमें विश्वास करना है? क्यों हम जो ऑथेंटिक वेबसाइट है, ICMR का वेबसाइट, WHO का वेबसाइट, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड इंफॉर्मेशन, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ हेल्थ एंड फैमिली वेलफेयर, मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ विमेन वेलफेयर। यहाँ पे जाके हम लोग कोविड के बारे में क्यों नहीं पढ़ते हैं? क्यों हम किसी ने भी कुछ भी भेज दिया हमें व्हाट्सएप वहीं पे पढ़ते हैं? So that is the thing. To know this, we should always go for websites which are authentic. So WHO website, Center for Disease Control, Food and Drug Administration, Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Indian Council of Medical Research. These are the places where we should go and seek for our answers, not by asking someone who has no clue about this. So whenever you need a data, you go to that authentic source and try to find out the data, not from something which has been sent to you through WhatsApp or Facebook. And these are few fact-checking organizations and the phone numbers. These are the fact-checking agencies in India. We have Alt News, which is doing a wonderful job. Alt News, Boom, and then this thing, India Today is also doing a good job. Okay, so these are the fact checking agencies. So in case you have some fake news which you got, or something which is very doubtful, you have a doubt regarding the message, what you can do is you can easily go to that particular fact checking agency, you can tag that phone number and you can send your data so that they will fact check and come back to you. So any questions? Which I really want some questions from all of you. If you can, sir, if you can ask them to, just switch
Yeah,
on the camera,
yeah, I
because I
posted in
also need.
Facebook also. Yeah, for
Okay, okay,
asking to post some questions as well. Yeah,
okay, because I need picture from that studio also, wherever they are sitting. I
yeah,
need to send it to Factshala.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, any questions? Excuse me. Please tell me. Yeah. It can be in Facebook, it can be here, it can be anywhere. I'll also share the. One second, I think I have to stop the share. Okay, I can just give you the. Feedback form.
Yeah.
Please ask your students to fill it. You can share it in WhatsApp also.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll share the feedback form. Kindly fill this feedback form, all of you. Okay, because this is important for them to know what you understood from the program. Now, please shoot questions to me. I'm eagerly waiting for the questions. So did you get the feedback form? I'll also share it with you in WhatsApp also.
Yeah, I got them, and I am currently just sharing it with them as well. Yeah.
Yeah, with your group, your class group or teachers group, wherever you
Yeah.
can have an access with students and staffs. Even teachers can fill this form. There's no problem. They just have to tick
Yeah.
for the teacher option.
Yeah.
So, sir, can we wrap it up?
Yeah, and just have one minor query regarding
Yes,
this see, we talk of fact checking, but
yes.
you know do we have any mechanism? See, as a you could also have you know let's say phishing websites which can look eerily similar to the actual fact checking. So for example, especially when it comes to WhatsApp, basically, and you were talking on how we can educate our family members on how we can help them combat fake news. So most of the information that you share, especially in your respective family WhatsApp groups, you always have an exodus of forwarded messages that you have telling like similar to how you share them. For example, like the ICMR guidelines, or this particular this app or that app telling instead of this is you also had certain news articles which said that they were also fact checking websites, but then they were more of a phishing website. So is there any mechanism through which we can find one the authenticity, or let's say the the truthfulness that they are actually fact checking, like the Google fact checker that you shared? Is there any way we can check for real that this is an authentic fact checking website or an application? Yeah.
Okay. So in Google Fact Check Explorer, if we go and we want to find out, we'll find a host of websites which actually does fact checking, and their fact checking things are only uploaded in Google Fact Check Explorer. So that way we can check the authenticity. Plus, the most famous ones are the ones where this boom, alt news, and everything. So apart from that, we don't have any other fact checking websites which are doing commendable job. So like I gave a list of fact checking websites. So apart from that, not many. Yeah, you can have something which is being done by the particular news or the particular media industry, like Sun News. They might come up with some fact checking, but then that is also very reliable because they are a huge media concern and they have done something and they are telling you that we have gone and we have investigated and we found out that this is not true. That is also there. But then apart from that, the basic thing is that yes, if you go to Google Fact Check Explorer and you try to search about any news or any particular information, you will get a host of websites and you can always rely on those websites.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Yeah, that's it. So we can wind up for the day. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay,
Yeah.
so please don't forget to give me screenshots. I
Yeah.
need photos of the studio where the students are sitting.
Okay.
And please make sure that they fill the feedback form, sir.
Yes, sure. Yeah.
Thank you so much. It was a real privilege to be with all of you. I'm really happy that I could be with all of you today. And I hope it is very essential for you. You implement these things, techniques, jo aapne dekha hai, sikha hai, you implement them so that, you lead a life which is filled with good information and you don't fall into the trap of fake information. Thank you, all of you. Thank you, sir.